guys, Debbie here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back, and welcome to this video that's going to be a first impression slash try on of the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette, this one here. Super excited to have this in my collection. You guys might have seen it when I was talking about palettes that I think would be quite nice for the festive season. I did a collab with my friend Caitlin and I talked about it then, and some of you guys said you wanted to see me do a review or first impressions on the palette, so I thought I would do it. I was eager to try it out anyway, so that's what this video is going to be. So without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. So in this video guys, I'm going to be talking about the palette first. I'm already wearing the look that I've created on my eyes, so I'm just going to give you a little rundown of what the palette's all about. We're going to then see the tutorial for this very soft and pretty pinky kind of burgundy look that I've created using some of the shades, and then I'll wrap up my thoughts at the end. So to start with then, the packaging, wow, it's stunning. It's one of the reasons I wanted it. I'm such a packaging person, and if a brand takes the time to make packaging as gorgeous as this, they have my attention already. And it's like almost 3D, it's sticking out, it's like shattered glass, it's absolutely beautiful. And seeing it in pictures or even in videos doesn't do it justice. It's so reflective and beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's plastic packaging, and then you have inside one of their brushes. Brush is the typical Urban Decay brush. You've got like a pack inside and you've got a blending outside. They're not the best brushes. They're a little bit too harsh and scratchy for me, a bit too stiff of a brush. Like the blending side, probably if you wanted to blend a shimmer into your crease though, that could work. And I understand why they've used it, because there's like a flat packing brush, but I think I've got better in my collection. But it's nice that it's there. And then you've got 3 mattes, and then you've got one that's kind of a satin shade. It's not a full matte, that one. So third eye, it's not completely matte, but that's the one I've got on my lower lash line here. And I like a satin shade for the lower lash line. They're a bit more pigmented, less kind of fallout heavy, and you don't get that puff into your eyes when you're blending it out. So I like a satin shade for the lower lash line, and that's why I used it there. I wouldn't probably like it so much in my crease. I might be able to use it for a shadow wing though, or to deepen the outer corner. And then the other 3 shades here, they're all matte. And I think the purpose of this palette is that you would put a neutral crease down and then you would slap a shimmer all over your lids, and that's pretty much what I've done here. So I've used the shade Antidote and I've used Hexed just in my crease, and then as I say, I've used this shade on the lower lash line. Never see the point of these bone kind of shades. You're not going to want to set your primer with this, because you're going to want to put shimmers all over your lid, and I'm like, what are you going to use that for? I think maybe for a brow bone highlight, but it's not really got enough pizzazz for that for me. I'm like, it's a wasted space in the palette to my mind, and it could have been replaced with something a bit more interesting. But that's coming from someone who's a colourful eyeshadow lover. So the shades inside then, some of them are ultra pigmented and really got a lot of base to them, and some less so. So this shade Jade and this shade Ojo are the 2 most pigmented, I would say. I'm going to just swatch those out so you can see. They are really pretty. So that's those 2 shades. So that's those 2 shades. Once they're swatched out, they get a bit more transparent, but they've got quite a bit of base pigment, particularly the blue shade. The others not so much. So for example, Raw Energy, which is the purpley one here, this one has got a lot less base pigment to it. So I don't know if you can see the difference. In fact, you can barely see it. There it is there. So some of them have more pigment, some are literally just sparkly topper shades. But there's some really pretty colours in here, and the sparkle is so pretty. The shade I used on my lids today is the shade Vibes, this one, and it's really soft, but it's got like such a reflective sparkle to it. And I think the bonus of these is that they could be used as face highlights because they've got enough transparency about them. So particularly that green one there reminds me very much of Laser Glazer from Kaleidos Makeup, which is no longer available anymore, which is super sad. I know everybody really enjoyed that highlight, and it's pretty much the same shade. perhaps a little bit more pigmented, so you might need to really sheer it out. But if you were really craving a green highlight for your face, I think that jade shade could work and fill that gap for you. But other than that, if you're looking for it for eyeshadow, I think it's a nice creamy formula, but you can pick it up with a brush. I think it's an interesting textured formula, which you don't find too often. This particular kind of formula, it's cool, I like it. And it's just something different. And for somebody that's got 200 and so eyeshadow palettes, it's unusual for me to find something different that I haven't found before texture-wise in my collection. And for it to come from Urban Decay is even more unusual, because they tend to be very much on the naked train these days, and that's why I've not bought a lot of those palettes. They just don't have the pizzazz and pigment for what I'm looking for. But this just had my attention because it's something slightly different. So let's hop straight into the tutorial for this look so you can see the shades in action, and then we'll catch up at the end and I'll just give you a roundup of my thoughts overall and whether I would recommend you to get the palette. Okay, so before we jump into the eye look, I'll just let you know what makeup I'm currently wearing, because I've done everything else, my face makeup, my lips, etc. So starting with lips, I've got the Kaleidos Makeup Lucid Lip in the shade Mesmerise, bit of a coloured lip gloss. Don't do that very often, but I love this one. It's got enough colour for me to want to wear it. I like a little bit of a coloured lip. And it's a bit of a Kaleidos kind of day. I've got their Charisma Contour palette in Cool and Light. Also wearing their Lo-Fi Blush Duo in Peach. And the Space Age Prophecy highlight, which is this amazing highlight you can see glinting on my cheeks right now. So I'm all set. Let's see what I can create with this palette. Now I want to do something pretty soft, I think, today. I'm wearing kind of a grey top. My lips are kind of like a pinky, I don't know, mauvey hue. So I'm thinking maybe Vibes might look nice, this one here. And then I'm going to use this one, Third Eye, on my lower lash line. I want to keep like my upper eyelids pretty like just sparkly and neutrally looking, like not too heavy. I don't want the outer corner heavy, because I am going to go in with a liner as well. So I'm going to get the drama from that. So I think pretty much I'm just going to go in with Antidote as like a transition shade in my crease, maybe deepen it up just a tad but not much with Hexed, and then, as I say, I'm going to use that shade pretty much all over the lid. I know it means I'll only have tried one shade, but this is just a first impression, so I think that's the plan. Also want to use this Lethal Cosmetics gel liner, one of their Side Effects gel liners in the shade Phase. It's a burgundy kind of shade, and I think it'll go well with the look I'm planning. So that's the plan for today. So I'm going to prime with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, but just kind of the area where I'm going to be applying a transition shade, because going with those shimmers on my lid, I'll be putting this glitter primer there anyway, so don't want to put too much product on there. And it's more just to cancel out my redness than as a base for shadow. So going in with the Kaleidos Makeup S2, nice fluffy brush, and this shade Antidote. And I'm just going to pretty much set that primer, but just want to give myself a light wash of peachy colour in my crease. It's a very pale colour, but it's not that pigmented, but it probably is the perfect transition for me. With my ultra pale skin, you might need to mix something a bit deeper in with this if you're much deeper than me though. Just for a bit more definition in the crease, I'm going to go in with Hex now, but just a very tiny amount of that on a skinny brush. So this one's the B11 from Spectrum. Something like the Morphe M506 would be great for this too. Just tucking that just really close to like the crease of my eye, just to build that a little bit more definition. You can just see it's sunk my eye back a little bit more and brought my eyelid forward by doing that. And generally I'll go in with the deepest colour and then blend with the lighter colour, but when I'm using neutral shades like this, I tend to do it the other way around. I don't know why. These are what I would call buildable shadows anyway. They're like building quite nicely to intensity that I want without getting like too much off the bat. I think Urban Decay shadows have improved so much over the years. They're no rival for the indie brands I love now, but I've been wearing Urban Decay for over 20 years, and some of the shadows that I bought from the past were not the greatest at all. They had a bit more of a cool kind of edgy vibe back then, but their products weren't that great quality in my opinion. Not now I know what is out there now and all the amazing indie brands that I use. Now I don't want this to be a cut crease or anything like that, but I'm going in with NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to use Linda Hallberg 303, just something that's not kind of got a hard edge on it, because I don't want to create that. I just want a nice soft shimmery blend from the shimmers to the mattes. So I'm just applying that everywhere I'm going to be putting shadow. Now as I say, I'm going to use Vibes as the focus of my look. I've no idea how well these will pick up on a brush. I'm going to use the Moon Dust brush from Urban Decay. This is a fantastic little brush. One of their like pro line brushes, and I use it a lot. Picks up these kind of difficult to pick up shadows reasonably well, so I'm hopeful. Yeah, it's picked it up fine. These are pretty soft. They're like a soft shimmer on your lid rather than a bam in your face kind of shimmer shade, but I think that's really pretty actually. It's got the sort of sparkle you get in this micro sparkly sort of shadows, like the one from Linda Hallberg that I love, Collision, even the sparkly Blitz Astral shades from Pat McGrath, but a bit more of a creamy base to it. I think that's really, really pretty. Let's do the same on the other eye. I'm just going to go back in with that Spectrum brush and just make sure that everything's blended as much as I can in the crease. I've not got any additional product on there, I'm just blending that shimmer to the matte. I love how soft this is. I don't do soft looks like this very often, it's nice to do something different. I'm going to go in and do the wing next so that I can rest on my lower lid if I need to create it without destroying the lower lash line work. So this is the shade of this Side Effects gel liner in Phase, like a blackened burgundy. I think it's going to look really pretty just to create a little wing. I want to keep this wing soft and small. Let's see how that goes. So I'm going in with a wing liner EO6 from Sigma. As I say, I don't want to do a massive wing, it's just going to be just a small wing today. Alright, so that's the wing on that eye. Just going to quickly whiz through the other eye. So now for the lower lash line, I'm going to go with Third Eye, which is like a satiny kind of shade. It's the only satin in the palette, but I think it will go on super pigmented for a lower lash line, which I think will look nice. I'm going to use a smudge brush to apply it. This one's the JH46 from Morphe Jaclyn Hill. And I'm going to connect that to that wing in the outer corner. And keep it pretty close to the lashes. I don't want this to be a crazy blown out look. I want it to be subtle and wearable. It's not something I say too often, but that's what I'm aiming for today. I'm going to take it about 2/3 of the way across. I'm going to leave a bit of space in the inner portion here for another shimmer, I think. I'm just going to take this original Spectrum brush that we used in the crease and just blend underneath on the lower lash line. There's no product in this, so it's just helping us to create that flow with the upper lid and the lower lash line without adding too much additional colour. For the inner corner area and lower lash line, I think I'm going to go with this icy shade. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going with Tiger's Eye or Opal Aura. I think I'll go with Opal Aura because it'll be nice and bright. I'm going to spray that with Fix Plus. I'm going to bring that down a little bit so it just looks like splaying out a little bit like little icy tears. And then we just need a few coats of mascara to finish off the look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. Really enjoyed creating it. It's different for me. It's a lot more subtle and soft than anything I normally do, but created a little bit more emphasis with the liner. I think you could have done, if you wanted, if you didn't have this liner, a shadow wing kind of liner with that third eye shade that's in the palette, this one here. And I really like the tones of that. I've always loved a sort of burgundy kind of shadow though, so really enjoyed using that one. So to sum up my thoughts on the palette, I think it's got some interesting, unique textures to the shimmers. They're a transparent base with a hint of colour but lots of sparkle, but they're kind of creamy, so you're not getting like a ton of fallout on your face. You can pick them up with a brush as well, which I thought you might not be able to. So who's this for? In my opinion, it's somebody who isn't that confident wearing colour. Perhaps you're the sort of person that doesn't want to put a multitude of different colourful mattes in your crease, but you just want to dip your toes into a little bit of colour, and maybe a festive time of year you're wearing something that's one of these shades, maybe blue or something, and you want just that hint of blue sparkle on your lids, for example. It's perfect for that. I think the mattes they've chosen are very safe, and I don't know if you necessarily needed that good calmer shade. We've got so many of those blending shades at this point, and that is pretty soft in any case. So I don't know, if they had replaced that matte with something a little bit more interesting, either a blue or a green, then, you know, they could have gone with a dual toned kind of deep emerald green or a deep navy blue, and I think it would have given it a lot more scope of things you could do with it. But we can all bring in mattes from our collection to do that anyway. But I like the fact that there's a variety of different tones in these sparkly shimmers, and as I say, they go on with a brush, which is my pet hate if I can't apply a shimmer with a brush. So I'm really impressed that you can do that with these and still retain all that sparkle. They're glittery shadows for people that don't like pressed glitter. They're definitely not pressed glitters, and I'm happy about that. So is it worth the money? Well, it was £46 when it came out, so no, I don't think it was worth £46. That's why I didn't pick it up. I'm a die-hard for Urban Decay. I've got a lot of Urban Decay palettes, but I don't pick them all up, and I kind of am selective of which ones these days. They've not got the best formula on the market anymore. I don't think they ever did have the best formula, to be quite honest with you, and I think they were so popular because of their edgy vibe, but there's so much more competition now. But this is a step in the right direction, I think, for them, because it's something unique, and it got a lot of people talking over the summer about it. No, it's not worth £46, but I think I paid £27 for it in the Black Friday sale. I bought it from the Urban Decay website, and I'm really happy with it for that price. So if you can pick it up at that sort of money, and you're looking for sparkly, pretty shimmer shades that are easy to work with, creamy blendable neutral mattes, then yeah, I don't think you can go far wrong with it. I'm really glad I've got it in my collection. And just a shout out for the packaging, as I say, because they've really done something with that packaging. That again is really unique. It's solid, nice packaging, and just the outer packaging is just beautiful. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the palette. You'll have to let me know, guys. Did you pick it up in the Black Friday sales? Did you get it maybe in the initial release of it when it came out in the summer? And maybe are you thinking of picking it up in the January sales, if there are some? There's always a sale for Urban Decay, so if you want it, it's still available, and as I say, you should be able to get it at a good price. Just shop around. Hope you enjoyed watching my review, even though it was super late to the party, and thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go. Other than that, guys, hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.